So today's video and topic is something that I've done before a couple times on the channel already, but I haven't done a comprehensive breakdown on how to stop every single double pass in Madden 25. As you guys know, right now, house rules is the #1 place to get rewards in the game, and you're bound to run into, during your house rules run, someone that's going to be running the Tampa Bay playbook or the Miami playbook for the purpose of glitching out your coverage with double passes. Now, the thing is, some of these passes utilize auto motion and other ones have glitches incorporated into them that will allow them to hide their intent, which makes it a little bit tougher to guard. So we're going to go through each and every one of these, and I'm going to show you guys a defense that shuts down, or a tactic that shuts down every single playbook. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, hit that notification bell, and grab out your pen and pad because you're going to need it. There's a lot to cover. Let's get into it. So let's kick off our video with the easiest to stop double pass in the game, but it's also the most commonly run double pass in the game because most players don't know how to do the Miami glitch, which we're also going to cover in this video. This double pass is found in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Bunch Strong Nasty. And what we're going to be doing here is showing you guys how to counter this particular play. Now, the way that I attack any double pass in the game, let's say if I were a loop blitzer out of 3-2 or 1-4, I'm going to set up my zone coverage defense, which, as we actually know, gets glitched out by the double pass. So when our opponents run this, you're actually going to see that all of the zones on the field are going to end up dumbing out and running down, and I could just throw this ball over the top and rat catch it for the one-play score. You don't even really need a quarterback or a person with throwing stats to make this happen. You're going to see here that it is really, really easy to do. Now, you could also say, well, hey, just go ahead and, play the guy over the top, but there's some hot route glitches that we're going to cover in this, and it's all going to make sense as to why you just simply can't run zone. So what I like to do is when I'm facing someone who mixes in the double pass glitch, I will go ahead and set up my coverage like this. But then what I'll do is I will hit the X button, and that's going to bring up my audible menu. This audible menu has to be up before the auto motion starts, because if it's not and they start the play, you're going to see I can't check out of this play. And now we are once again in a lot of trouble where this is going to end up being a touchdown every single time. Okay, so we're going to set up our zone coverage based defense, but we're going to have our audible menu up. Now, once our coverage is set up, we hit that audible button. The next thing that's important is that you have a man coverage defense of some sort in your audible set. For me, it's as simple as 2-man under, because man coverage does not glitch out. But as a reminder, the zones over the top will. So what I will do is I will set up my defense, pull up my menu, and as soon as that auto motion starts, I check into the man-to-man coverage. Then from there, I will switch stick onto the zone that glitches out and play over the top of the lob. The other benefit to checking into man coverage once the auto motion starts is that if your opponent uses Andrew Luck with the Baked On Omaha, when they look at their play art, they're looking to see, is my opponent in zone? And because we are in zone, they will start their auto motion on the double pass. But once that happens, we check into the man-to-man, they throw it out to the flat. It's not going to glitch out against the coverage. And we're going to see that the guy that's in man-to-man on the double passer will chase him down in the flat while we are doing the switch sticking over the top. So you see here, when this starts, I'm on this guy. I run back with this guy, so that way he doesn't glitch out. And you see in the background how I switch stick to the guy that is about to glitch out and run down. This prevents him from being, so low that they lob this over the top of the man coverage that's underneath. The other added benefit of 2-man under is it plays basically a trail technique. So it's going to play underneath the crossing route. It's going to play underneath the flat route on this play. And then we stay over the top of the lob to the backside. If you do not like this, you guys can add one extra step to your defensive setup. So let's start from scratch. We set up our pressure. This is our loop blitz that we'd run if they ran a regular play. We pull up our audible menu. When the auto motion starts, what we will do is we will check into 2-man under and shade the coverage up by hitting Y right, run back, switch stick, and now we're playing over the top on that lob. This makes it so that way the lob to the streak or the fade route, that player does not play the underneath technique where he lets him get behind him. He stays over the top of this. That way, if you don't switch stick to number 3, like I did in this play, and you want to play the crossing routes underneath, you can. So it's a very, very good adjustment to have this man-to-man coverage call. Now, what we're gonna also break down is another technique where, let's say you get stuck in zone coverage, because we're not all necessarily so fast at setting up and then getting our audible menu up. Sometimes we're gonna get quick snapped while we're still setting up our defense. And I wanna show you guys something you could do very quickly. But before we do that, make sure you guys open up another tab on your browser and head over to my strategy website, gridirongameplans.gg. What you are seeing right here in this video is me unloading the vault, unlocking the vault for you guys, if you will. There have been so many double pass metas over the course of the year, but members over at Gridiron Game Plans have known how to stop these from even before they became meta. That's the importance of our vault updates. Gridiron Game Plans prides itself on keeping you on top of the meta and even forecasting what's on the horizon. When something is powerful, we always take a look at how it works and how to counter it. Like you're seeing in this video, you're getting the whole story. You guys will get this far sooner than waiting until the late spring, early summer by signing up for our pre-sale offer. For just $75, you get every single piece of content I post all year long. That is weekly updated vault content with 4 to 5 tips a week minimum. All offensive and defensive game plans, members only Discord access, and we have a lab session each and every week. And new to the website this year, I will be uploading those live lab sessions into an archive on the website for those that are unable to attend. It will be accompanied by meetings notes, so you can go to the topics that we discuss. This will be stuff that's on the website that needs more clarity for certain members, frequently asked questions. Anything related to Madden is on the table in our lab sessions, and you guys will be able to attend those lab sessions even when you can't attend them. So make sure you guys take advantage of this. This is the best deal I offer. Normally the website is $9.95 a month. That is $120 a year. You guys can unlock the entire year for $75. You don't have to worry about being subscribed. Just make sure you guys take advantage of the pre-sale. We have one for college football as well, so make sure you guys check that out. So as I said, sometimes we will be in the middle of setting up our defense and our opponent will start their auto motion before we can get set. This is where we're going to do the click onto the slot corner and manually rush trick. So what we're gonna do is we are going to, let's pretend that we're setting this up. The auto motion starts. We are just going to go to this guy, and as soon as this ball is snapped, we're going to run down into the flat and just tackle this guy. It's that simple. If they are on the left hash, the double pass receiver will catch the ball basically on the numbers or slightly inside the numbers. So that is the spot that you will run to when they are doing this. So if you ever caught in a situation where they're trying this double pass, just take a slot corner and run off the edge if you can. Now, of course, if they are in a regular pass play that mixes in the auto motion, some players will mix up, regular passes. There are plays that look the exact same, such as halfback seam or halfback angle. That's okay. We can live with a first down every now and then, because ideally we are getting into a position where we're playing the man-to-man coverage and able to take advantage of them ever calling this. One other thing that I want to add, and this is a super secret for this game, is if you guys are ever wanting to manually rush this guy and potentially force a fumble, there is a trick in this game where if you stand roughly at the line of scrimmage and you hold left bumper and down, your guy will not go off sides. So what you're going to see is when this ball is snapped, you can get a perfect timing, in a lot of cases force fumbles in the backfield. Right there, we had a guy that was able to hold on to it. So I'm going to show this to you again. We could just stand right here once the auto motion starts. Now we hit left bumper and down, we're frozen. And now the ball is snapped and I'm just going out to the flat. And a lot of times we get that knockout with this player. So practice this. This is something that you could do. You can time the snap perfectly just by holding left bumper and down. For what it's worth, this is also what players will do to try to knock receivers down at the line of scrimmage. They will just do this little thing right here and press them into the dirt. That's a really, really popular tactic right now. So, it's the same thing. You guys could use that tactic just to manually rush the double passer or to jam somebody. So a little Easter egg within this video for you. Now we understand how to stop the most common double pass in the game. Let's go talk about the one that's a little bit more glitchy. Now for the Miami Dolphins playbook, you're going to notice here that we've gone into an actual game because there is a hot route glitch that some players will use to make this even more powerful. However, a lot of players don't know this hot route glitch that cancels the auto motion. With this formation and this play in particular, there is a couple of double passes you have to be aware of. The first one is known as cheat halfback double pass, and the other one is known as cheat tight end double pass. More players will run the halfback version than the tight end version because the halfback is the one that catches the double pass rather than the auto motion tight end. So we're going to focus on cheat halfback double pass. If your opponent does run the cheat tight end double pass, you can use the man coverage rule that I did in the last video, because that's very obvious. You see the auto motion start, you check into the man-to-man, just make sure your audible menu is up. But the glitch for the cheat halfback double pass involves immediately upon breaking the huddle, putting the tight end on a route. If you guys do this, this will make it so it cancels the auto motion of this play. And now what can also occur is your opponent will be able to snap the ball, throw this double pass to this player, and then scramble or throw over the top if the coverage glitches out. This is something that you guys need to be aware of. In MUT, a lot of players will have the conductor on their quarterback or the master tactician, which gives them more hot routes. So they'll be able to put in a couple, which means putting on a streak on this play. So if I were to kind of just, show you here, I could block the tight end. I don't have time in regs to put my B receiver on a streak, but in MUT, your opponent would. And what ends up occurring is they're just going to do this. They're going to snap the ball. And a lot of times they could throw this ball over the top and throw it for a touchdown. So obviously with that particular auto motion being canceled, we can't do the audible trick that relies on that auto motion. So we have to come up with something a little bit more, I would say, guessing or just kind of predictive that your opponent is going to call this. Most players don't have a competent offense out of this. They do rely heavily on the cheat halfback double pass. So what we're going to do is we're going to take notice of the fact that the running back on this double pass runs to the receiver side, not the tight end side. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to call defense here that is going to probably just be man-to-man coverage, if we're being totally honest. We're just going to make sure that we don't allow this running back to catch the ball out in the flat. All right, so what we could do is take our safety in a two-man under and man him up on the outside player, and then just blitz this guy or man him up on the running back. This is another way that we can kind of have our choice. If we want to manually blitz and tackle him, similar to the double pass in the bunch nasty, we could do that. If we want the AI to deal with it, we just do something similar to this. And then I'm going to play over the top, and I'm just going to shade up, okay? Because I don't want, with this only having one safety on the field, for us to have to worry about your opponent hot routing multiple streaks on the field, because they will in MUT. In regs, you don't have to worry about that. But again, here, what happens is now they snap this ball, and you're going to see that this guy in man-to-man is going to chase that guy. He can't scramble. You do obviously have to worry a little bit about the whip route, which is why I think that with this play, one thing you might consider doing is basically putting that extra linebacker that's blitzing on this play into a flat zone. So again, you would probably just do something like this here, and then just shade up. Maybe just play a single high middle third. And in this case, again, you could just kind of stand right here and just know that if they do this, you're just going to run down here and make this tackle. Everything else is pretty good. Again, your deep zones will bite on the double pass. It's just what they do. So make sure that when you guys are setting this up, you guys are basically keeping a bracket over the top of the streak. Probably user safety. I mean, over manually rushing. Again, they're kind of catching the ball at the numbers if they're throwing this to the near sideline, or inside the numbers if they're throwing it to the far side. So you can manually rush and just go with that spot just to tackle the guy. But the other thing that you have to be worried about is, again, this whip route is a man-to-man beater. So a lot of times that whip will need to have a flat defender. That's why I think $1 or a 1-4 two-man under with that linebacker in the flat. So that way you get the man-to-man on the whip, and then you have a flat that brackets the outcut. And then you could actually click onto this guy and just kind of patrol over the top of the streaks. And then again, the man-to-man in the flat will chase the running back. So let's go ahead and do one more final setup here for this. Two-man under, and you guys can call this auto flip on or off, whatever. It's totally up to you. And again, when they come out, they're going to immediately block their tight end or put their tight end on a streak, whatever it is they want to do. Okay, so here we are. Now, when you have the auto flip on, the blitzing linebacker is on the tight end side. So make sure that you guys pay attention. More often than not, they're going to run this to the wide side of the field. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it myself. Again, right here, we're going to basically have the auto motion, so we're going to ignore that. But again, if you guys are trying to stop this, you have somebody in the flat, probably shade over the top, man up the safety on the outside receiver, and then you're going to man up the outside corner over here on this guy. And then I would just stay over the top manually. You're playing the only guy that would glitch out because this is a man coverage defense. So now when they start this, you're going to see that that guy is going to run and chase the running back down. We're going to have a bracket on the whip. I'm staying over the top of both of those routes. And you see right there, it chases him down. It's going to hit him right away. They can't scramble like they would against zone. So this is how you guys are going to handle every single double pass in the game. You either utilize an audible into man-to-man when the auto motion starts, or manually rush, or you man up a corner on the person who is catching the ball, so that way they can't scramble. You guys do these things, you guys are going to win every single house rules where your opponent spams this. It's pretty simple stuff. I know it's annoying, but I hope you guys appreciate the video. Make sure you guys check out Gridiron Game Plans. Our pre-sale offer is available for Madden 26. We take the lab work out of it for you so you guys can continue beating players that rely on this type of stuff. They're not thinking very hard. You guys don't have to either. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, this is Zan. Get the lab and good luck.